Hey guys, what is up? Array Mage here, doing another World of Tanks 360 beta live comm. Today we're doing Sand River Assault. Don't know if we're defending or assaulting yet, but we'll find out. Looks like we're assaulting, and the matchmaking, let's see, they have 5 tier 10s. Looks like we got a little bit more than them, but today, guys, I'm going to do something a little bit different with my live comms than I usually do. I'm going to do my best I can, because I usually have a tough time commentating and playing at the same time. So, you know, if I seem a little off, if I seem like I'm not coherent, it's because my brain power is a little divided between actually playing the game and commentating live at the same time. But I'm going to discuss topics that you typically see on the World of Tanks 360 forums. In particular, I'm going to talk about what's better, German or American mediums, and at least my thoughts on it. And it's just my opinions. Just keep in mind, guys. So don't take it to heart and assume, oh my God, you have a bad opinion. So just, you know, just cool it and just, you know, take my opinions with a grain of salt. It's just my opinion. It's just how I look at it. I've seen some people argue, well, the American mediums are overpowered, and I've heard some people say, well, the German mediums are not good. They're just not good tanks. I sort of take issue with that. I've played both mediums, most medium lines, at least up to tier 9 with the American mediums, and of course, as you can see, I've played the German mediums up to tier 10. And so, I mean, I have an idea of what the German mediums are capable of, and so far, from what I've seen out of them in tier 9 and the American mediums at tier 9, is I can honestly conclude, guys, they are more balanced than you think, and they're balanced in certain ways that most people, I don't think, account for. And in particular, let me see if I can get a shot on that Panther too. Hello, buddy. Hello. Sorry if I kind of break commentary there briefly, but oh, why are they always shooting at my main gun? Buzz off me, guys. Anyways, something you know, most people don't account for is American mediums are balanced in different ways than German mediums, and in particular, it's sort of the little things I don't think most people notice. For instance, German mediums tend to be high silhouette tanks. They're much bigger than their American counterparts, and right now I can hear somebody saying, well, that's what makes the American mediums better. They're much more tougher to hit. Well, they're tougher to hit and tougher to kill for different reasons, and German mediums are a little bit different also. For instance, you look at the sloped armor on the E50M. Yes, it's a big target, and it is a god-awfully big target. I mean, this is a big tank for a medium tank, but it has aggressively sloped armor. That is what it makes up for. Its large size for. I've gotten some weird angles up close, and if you look back at some of my E50 and E50M tank reviews, I intentionally showed that you could brawl with them. You could get up and fight. Maybe they're not the best tank, an ideal tank to use in that kind of situation, but you can use them. And I just wasted 1,200 silver like a moron there. But you can use them in an up-close fight if you want to, if you need to. And I was just demonstrating that just because this tank is more geared toward being a sniper does not mean it's a tank that you can't fight up close with. After all, remember, medium tanks are generalists. They're meant to do it all. And I was talking about with American mediums, they're more ideal for hull-down fighting. They make up for the fact that they may not have the aggressively sloped armor. And they have a thick gun mantlet for... Oh, let me shoot this M48. Come on, buddy. Come across. Let me shoot you. No, don't hide. Come on, bro. Don't hide from me. Alright, fine. I'll shoot your boyfriend. Oh, your boyfriend's hiding, too. Come on, buddy. There you go. That's all I want out of you. Alright, they're going to exploit a breakthrough over here, and I'm going to try and hold them off. I'm probably going to get killed, but you know what? I'm going to be a man about it. But anyways, guys, American mediums, generally the rule of thumb is American mediums are more lower to the ground, which makes them ideal candidates for hull-down fighting, ideal for hull-down tactics. I'm going to have to make a phase withdrawal here because it's just me and that T-32, and you know, I hate to leave my T-32 pal out to dry there, but I'm going to have to move over to some rocks and get some cover. But generally, guys, the American mediums are more ideal for hull-down fighting. They're more meant for being... They really embrace the generalist role, whereas German mediums embrace the role of sniping more. And high penetrating guns here, this is what German mediums are good at. And the weird angles, yes, they're big tanks, yes, they're easy to hit, but the weird angles you can get with these tanks because of the sloped armor allows you to bounce more shots there and absorb more shots. See there, that was a track hit, and I got to avoid this Jagdpanzer E100. But with the American mediums, and that goddamn M48 does not know how to buzz off. Alright. But anyways, and I'm probably going to get wiped out here by this Jagdpanzer. Come on, guys, help me out. Ooh, good shot. Major props to that T110E3. He just saved my ass. Shout out to you, sir. You are awesome. Jagdpanzer E100 wrecked me, but oh well. Anyways, guys, with the American mediums, you'll see they're lower to the ground. They're just ideal for the hull-down tactics. You'll also see with the American mediums, if you go up that tank tree, you will notice, and I'm going to go wide here, you will notice that the German mediums actually start off and can get the really good guns to compete in tier a lot earlier than their... Excuse me, I just had dinner. But they compete much more thoroughly in the damage department than their American medium counterparts. Whereas the American mediums, they just don't get great guns as early as the German mediums. And that's because with American mediums, you are more suited to sniping. And I was just talking about with the German mediums, high silhouette tanks, you do get sloped armor. It allows you to have more weird angles, if you will, with your fighting. And for the first time, I've gotten a live comm where I actually win. But I'm going to talk for a few minutes longer because I was a little divided. But anyways, once again, guys, sorry if this live comm's a little weird. It's because I'm trying to concentrate and play this game at the same time while also commentating. But I was talking about with the German mediums, in particular, they're high silhouette tanks, high penetrating guns, and you can compete in the brawling department. You guys have to remember, they are generalists, and they're balanced in different ways. And I'd say, if you want to play as the American mediums, don't expect you to be easily the superior tank on the battlefield. I found out firsthand when I was playing as my M46 Patton, the Pershing, hell, the T20. I ended up getting guns that were really inferior for the tier, just starting off. And they're tougher to grind on the American side than the German mediums. I didn't realize how easy I had it on the German medium side in comparison to the American side. I just felt like I could grind the American mediums, and I would lose my mind. With the German mediums, as soon as I got the gun I needed, I was good to go. And see, with my M46 Patton, I believe I have the final main gun that was on the Pershing at Tier 8. And that's an okay gun, but it has its problems, just like the L71 88mm gun had its problems at Tier 9 against those M103s and E75s. So, I mean, I had the L188. At this point in time, when I have my M46, I had that L100 88mm gun on my E50 a heck of a lot earlier than my M46 Patton. And I was dealing damage, and I felt like I was contributing to the team more. And it's really about how those mediums contribute. They contribute much differently. With the German mediums, you are more focused on dealing damage. You are more focused on delivering damage to enemy tanks in comparison to the American mediums, whereas American mediums, they are more focused on passive scouting. And here we're going to talk about, let me see, can I get these things side by side and I'll show you what I mean. But, just looking here at the M46 and then you compare the E50, you see two different tanks, much bigger target here in the German medium, but you see the very aggressively sloped armor. You can bounce shots. And see, if you stick to the role that German mediums are good at, and that's sniping, that sloped armor makes it very tough for an American medium to pen you at long distances. And in some cases, you might just take a track hit rather than you're taking hit point damage. Now, of course, a track hit in and of itself is pretty bad because, now you're just sitting out in the open for that American medium to tee off on. Whereas with the American medium, it's it definitely has some slope to it, but it's nowhere near as sloped and aggressive as their German counterparts. However, they're more lower to the ground. And typically, in particular, say with the Pershing, you have a very thick gun mantlet, and that's the part that surrounds the gun. That allows you to, you could play hull down. And see, when I first got the Pershing, just giving it as an example, I wasn't used to the fact that I could go hull down and take hits. Initially when I took hits on my German medium, I accepted the fact I got lucky because of the sloped armor. I took a bounce, and I usually backed out of a fight, and I repositioned myself, looking for another angle of approach, another angle of attack. I feel like I can get away with a lot more in the American mediums. However, at longer distances, I don't have the gun, or at least I don't have the penetration that I would have with a German medium. And now, of course, with the American mediums, they're nice snipers. They're good snipers. But in comparison to their German counterparts, the counterpart to the Pershing, the Panther II, I feel like I can hit more narrow spots on tanks with a German medium with its final main gun as opposed to its American counterpart. I mean, that's the balance in these tanks. You have very different tank philosophies, dueling tank philosophies. I guess the best way to think about it, guys, is you're talking about differences in play styles. And most people probably, when they go for the American mediums, they go for tanks that generally fit their play style. And that's why I guess I'd say generally you see more people in heavy tanks than you do mediums, and that's partially, I guess, a console player thing, but that's generally what happens here. And it's really just differing play styles. See, the German mediums cater to a play style where I guess you play more as a specialist role, whereas the American medium is a pure generalist with a good passive scouting side effect. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this live comm. Once again, guys, sorry if the very first half of this live comm was just an incoherent babbling. It was tough for me to commentate and play at the same time, and I did what I could, guys. But anyways, guys, please leave comments and suggestions below, and if you want to sound off, tell me your thoughts on the discussion. But this is generally how I look at it. It is just my opinion. Anyways, guys, Ray Mage, catch you guys later. Peace out.